Yo, 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 yo. This is another episode of the number one weekend hip hop podcast in the game. This is the Weekend Rhyme. I'm RKY. That is Leroy Green. What's good, brother?
What's good, man? I'm great. Happy to be here. I missed y'all.
Man, we took a week off last week, man. There's been a lot going on. We're doing some kind of recalibration for the fall and the summer rollout with according to hip hop. So kind of took a little break last week to kind of recharge the batteries. It's been a long summer.
Yeah.
Kids went back to school. Hell, man, it's been a lot, man. So last weekend we just wanted to take a little break. I know Leroy, you in LA last weekend, right?
Yep. Awesome, man.
How was LA?
It was beautiful, man. Hip hop is like the greatest thing, man. It's like always blesses me with something. Like that's why I love hip hop. It's like I was down there with a bunch of artists. First of all, I met Watch Homie Quan while I was down there. Shout out to him. He does the YouTube stuff, like the growing up in LA stuff. That's always hilarious. But I just listening to a ton of music, man. You know what I mean? And it's just dope. I also found out about Chino XL down there, but for the most part, it was great. And it's like I was with artists, some of them they never performed before. So just to see, like people that are normally they would be nervous or something, they got up and performed in front of people, and just to, like that's inspiring for me. You know what I'm saying? Just like to see people get over their butterflies of performing or never performed, and it's just awesome, man. You know what I mean? So I'm pro artist. I'm an artist guy. LA, great city. I played a lot of basketball. Let me know that I'm out of shape. I got to get back in shape. You know what I mean? But it was beautiful, man. It was beautiful.
Did you F around and get a triple double, or you washed up, Leroy?
No triple double, bro. Like when you're playing 21 and you ain't even get to 15, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna sit down. That lets you know, like, I gotta run, man. I gotta get my running game back, play more often, man. But it was a beautiful situation out there, man. So
no doubt. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 followers on YouTube. Tomorrow we're gonna do something a little bit different. We're gonna be on YouTube for a little bit for mic check. Then we're gonna go to Rumble, so we can play a little bit of music, man. So we can kind of tap in with some music. So we're gonna experiment with that tomorrow. Be sure you tap in with us. I don't know what time we'll be on. Maybe 6, maybe 7, but we'll be on YouTube first. Then we'll go to Rumble, and then we'll make it pop. But today we got an interesting show. We're gonna cover a couple things. Big Sean just did an interview with Charlamagne. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Megan Thee Stallion is hitting the trail for Kamala Harris. We'll talk about the intersection of politics and hip hop a little bit. Also, we'll talk about what dropped this weekend. Vultures 2. Vultures 2 dropped this weekend. We'll talk about Vultures 2. And then Leroy wants to talk about little Killer Mike. We want to talk about Chino XL a little bit. And we're gonna have a good show tonight. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We will have an opportunity for you guys to tap in with us in a few. But let's start off with the
new song too. ASAP's new song is dope.
ASAP's new song. Finally, he put out some new music. He's just not walking runways. He actually raps. So we'll talk about ASAP's new joint as well. Let's start with the Big Sean interview. Did you get a chance to check it out? What were your thoughts on Big Sean's conversation with Charlamagne the God?
Well, I liked it. I'm a little bit, older guy, so I like Big Sean. I like seeing the artists grow into who they're going to be, right? We've seen Big Sean from when he was young. Now he's growing into a more, he's a seasoned artist now. You know what I'm saying? So I like to hear his perspective of family and the game, and what he feels about the what he says the so-called big three. He had a new song too, about his son Noah. But I just love it, man. I like to see the progression of the artist, and I think hip hop is getting more mature, more down to earth. I'll talk about Killer Mike briefly a little bit later, but I like all that. You know what I mean? At the time, right before the Big Sean interview, you know, I was listening to the Rakim. I like the Rakim. You know, it's my type of hip hop. So I just say that to say like the artists are growing into their late 30s, 40s, 50s, and I love it, man, because it just comes with different perspectives. You know.
Yeah,
So,
you can tell that Big Sean comes from the Kanye tree. There's an
yeah.
honesty in his raps and his honesty in his conversation. If you listen to, you know, Late Registration, College Dropout, even my beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Kanye has always been an honest rapper, and you can tell Big Sean is cut from the same cloth. It's an honesty in his raps. It's a very personal, kind of witty. That's the
Yeah.
kind of vibe Big Sean's on. So the interview was the same. You know what I'm saying? It was an honest, you know, conversation with Charlamagne. He was vulnerable in the conversation, and I enjoyed it. I like where Big Sean is coming from. I like the On Up video for his son Noah. Shout out to my son. My son's name is Noah as well, and yeah, it was a dope video. You know what I'm saying? It was a dope video. I like the sample of the Jodeci joint. That's a conversation for another day. You know, we go back and forth. Was Jodeci Boys the Men? I'm more of a Jodeci guy myself, but you know, I always like that song "Get On Up." That's one of my favorite Jodeci records. So I like the interpolation, integration of the song with Big Sean. The video was really dope, man. Looking at his son and you know, trying to give him some game, give him some wisdom. And it was a really dope, positive record. So I like the interview. I like what Charlamagne is doing with these black and white interviews. They're very intimate. I think he made a comment when he started the interview saying he does this black and white thing so he can focus. Now I've always loved black and white, and people say, "Oh, I want to see color." Like I always tell my wife, I like our photos in black and white. She doesn't like them. I like to do films in black and white. She doesn't like. But I like what Charlamagne is doing. And yeah. I like what Big Sean is doing. I'm excited about his album. I still think he's on that. And somebody roasted me in the comments a couple shows ago, saying that I said that Big Sean didn't break through. I didn't say that Big Sean didn't break through. He broke through.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
I think he's looked at it on that he's not looked at on the same tier as maybe of a Ye, a Jay-Z, a Nas, Eminem, or people like that. He's on that Wale, he's on that ASAP Rocky, on that Game, that Rick Ross tier. You know what I mean? So that's what I meant by that. So
he kind of about that for a little bit.
You got to decipher what I'm saying, brother. Don't just look at the surface layer. I didn't say he didn't break through. I'm saying he didn't really, you know, break through like that. So that's what I was saying, man. Hey, yo, make sure you hit the super chat button. Make sure you support According to Hip Hop. Hit like, subscribe, make a comment, share with a friend. But yeah, Big Sean was dope, man. I can't say nothing more about it. So talk about the part about the big three, the big three comment.
Right. So he was just saying like two parts. He was saying like the big three, like who, like we're in his mind, we're thinking the big three, you know, Drake, Kendrick, and Cole, which makes sense. I'm not mad at that big three, but in his mind, he's like, so what about Eminem? What about Kanye? What about, you know, like these people are still outside. So are they big three or like, so basically what he's saying is why he's not really tripping on like being, part of the big three or considered the big three. Like he's not tripping on that. And also people are asking him like to go at Kendrick or why you're not beefing with Kendrick. And it's just like, I get what he's saying. And I sort of feel the same about Cole too. I know a lot of people are disappointed, but I think for some people to beef with someone, and I'm talking about lyrically beefing, you know, like lyrical rap, battle rap, that it has to be real animosity. If it's not real animosity, I don't think they want to do it, you know. And I think with him, he's like, it's just not real. Like he don't feel a way about Kendrick that would garner him to try to diss. Do you know what I'm saying? Like people take it that way, but he's like, it's just not that deep. Like I don't hate the man or have no like ill will toward the man. And people were like, well, he dissed you. And he's like, well, I talked to Kendrick though, so I know it's not nothing serious because I talked to him, you know. So it's like those are layers of the game that I think people should consider. And I also kind of agree. Like I'm both sides of the coin, right? I'm down for battle, and I actually did just get out of a battle. Some kid that was drinking way too much alcohol, straight up came up battling me. Like that's a whole other story. It was a bad day for him. But and back to Big Sean, I feel what he's saying though, because I'm down for battle if it's like let's battle for the art of seeing who's better. But if we're battling to see who like really has the most hate against the other, like if I don't really hate you, it's gonna be hard to kind of battle in that way. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's what he's saying. Like, I don't hate Kendrick or feel a way about Kendrick, so I'm just not interested in a battle like that. You know?
And I can respect it. That's like again, that's a very honest assessment from Big Sean. I mean, he's not in it just to get clicks, likes, retweets, shares. He's if he don't got no personal animosity with the brother, he ain't gonna get to it, But some people look at beef in different ways. Some people look at battling as a personal thing. Some people think about it as more of a competitive thing. I think that's how Lupe is coming at it. Lupe is like, I just want to battle, see who the nicest is, right? So and I think how Game looks at it, I don't think when Game comes at somebody, I don't think Game was coming at them very personally, even though the records sound very aggressive.
Right.
And they, I mean, even the record he had against Meek Mill, which was crazy. And the record he had against Rick Ross, they sound very personal, but I think he's more in a competitive space when he's making those records. So I understand where Big Sean is coming from. He don't want to step into that arena like that.
The problem that I'm having with the beef world, and I'm gonna use the word problem, right? The problem I'm having is when we send disses at each other, or when rappers send disses, the disses are personal, and that makes it to where people kind of don't want to battle because they know that the disses are gonna be personal. I think at this stage in 2024 in hip hop, we can battle and just make the rhymes dope. Like, let's see whose rhymes is better. Like, I don't have to pick apart your family or take a part of your personal story. I could just write dope bars and be like, oh, you can't see me with the bar. Like, we should be at a place where we could do that. Like, I don't know why. And to be honest, people are more afraid of that than real beef. Like, people are more afraid of lyrical, non-violent beef than actual real beef. Like, I know people are not going to believe that, and that's just weird to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they would rather have a real problem than to have just a lyrical problem. Yeah, and that's backwards to me. Like, we should be at a place where, like, okay, me and Ron, we're going to battle, right? I'm going to write my 32 bars, and I'm just going to try to write the best bars. I'm not dissing you personally. I'm going to see if my rhymes are better than the rhyme. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Like, I don't know why that shouldn't be hard. Like, that should be just easy competition, y'all. And I think we should be able to do that now. You know?
Yeah, I think we should, man. But I mean, if people's heart ain't in it, then I understand it. You know what I'm saying? I understand it.
Right.
Hold on. Hey, what you doing, boy? Go upstairs.
Yeah, man. But you know,
my son's not here. What is it?
Somebody mentioned Nas in the chat. Nas, and I had a question about Nas and the Primo record, and I want to know what do y'all expect from Primo and Nas. Now I'm gonna give you time to think about it. You ain't gotta answer me now, but I'm like, what do people expect? I expect them to be themselves, but that's another topic. But tell me what you are expecting.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the big? And people put it in the chat as well. How excited are you guys for the Big Sean album? Are y'all anticipating it? You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna be streaming it day one? What y'all think?
I'm excited for. I'm about a 7. I'm about a 7, but you know, I've kind of been a Big Sean fan though. Like, since he came out, I rock with Big Sean, so it's kind of the same now. Now I will say some back, like his last few albums, I wasn't really big on like that because I only listened to him like one time, but I'm excited for the bigger name artists to come back outside. And regardless of how you feel about Big Sean, he does have a status and a reputation in the game. I'm interested to see where he goes. I know the soul samples will be there on some regard. I know the deep subject matter will be there in some regard. I want to see if he tries something new. I want to see, just where he goes with it. That's all. Same with ASAP. You know?
Yo. So hip hop's been around for 50 years,
Yeah.
and 50 years hip hop's been around. Can we name objectively 49 MCs better than Big Sean? And that can be in the chat as well. It's 49 MCs better than Big Sean.
See, well, that's a loaded question, and I understand because we do have a lot of loaded questions. So let me put it to you like this: in my view, Big Sean is someone that can do a lot, whether you like his music or not. Right? He can make the kid bops for the little kids. He can make the very grown records too. That's range. He has a bunch of different styles. He can go from very slow cadence raps to a very high speed rap. So that's range. He can go from he's very punch heavy, that structure, bar setup. He can so there are a number of things he can do. He can exist in both worlds, meaning the underground world and the mainstream world. Because if you give him a primo beat, or you give him whatever, some underground beat or whatever, he'll lace those too. So it's like that's a lot of range for an artist. So if you're going to name 49 people, they would have to be 49 people with a lot of range, so.
I respect that. People are asking me, have we heard the Big Sean and Nas record? Have you heard the Big Sean and Nas record? I have not.
I have not.
What? I'm going to take a time out. So okay. I want to let you cook.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about more of the interview. I'm going to listen to the record and come right back. Hold on.
Okay, I will. So Big Sean just cooked on that about the big three, his position in the big three. But like I said, he's getting more mature, and hip hop is going into a more like mental health type of space. I know that, some may be like that's cliche, but I can hear it in the records. Like I could hear artists, not everybody, but artists taking a more mature perspective, and a more mature, just the way of delivering a message. So I think that's coming. I'm reading a book right now called Breaking Through with Bars by Jeff Walker. It deals with the crossroad between mental health and hip hop. So I think that's where it's going. The Nas record I did not hear. Someone said, how would you rate the Rakim album? I mean, I like the Rakim album. I'm not gonna go crazy. I'm not gonna act like it's crazy, right? So if we're going 5 mics, I'm gonna say it's about 3.5. I like the beats. I like the perspective of the rhymes, and I like it, man. I don't have no problem with it. But anyway, I like the direction that Big Sean is going, and he's open with his, where he's at in life. He's willing to do the interviews, sit down with Charlamagne in the first place. So I think that's important too. Like before your record comes out, your album come out, get in front of the people or Charlamagne. It doesn't have to be Charlamagne, but anybody who you want to get in front of and have that interview and answer those questions. He talked about the Kanye situation. It's not really a beef situation like that, but it was, it was some money. Of course, anybody who feels like they're owed money is going to feel away. That is just normal business. But it was dope. I hate to hear it was like that, because Big Sean did put in a lot of work for early good music. Y'all remember when good music first started? Big Sean was on a lot of them verses, man. So it's like, people should be paid for the work that they do. You know what I mean? Briefly, as far as the Nas and Primo, I'm hearing people have a lot of concerns. I'm not going to challenge you on people's concerns. I'm going to let you have your opinion. But fully produced Primo albums, right? So we got Gangstar, we got NYGs, we got him and Bumpy Knuckles, we got MOP, we got Group Home, we got J. Rue the Damager, we got Afu Ra. Out of these albums, what direction do y'all want to see him go? Now come back to me next week and let me know, so I have a better understanding, because I'm hearing the Primo beats. I got no problem with the Primo beats. Some people are having an issue with it, so let me know what you are expecting. And that's
I can tell you what I'm expecting. I'm just expecting beats that don't sound like they're, how can I say this respectfully, because we want to have Primo on the platform. I mean this with utmost respect.
Okay.
They don't sound like rehashed or recycled. It doesn't, like the beats don't sound. I can't speak for an artist. I wasn't in the booth. I wasn't on his MPC when he created the beats. I wasn't on Logic or Fruity Loops or however he made the beats on his deck or whatever.
Right.
They just don't sound inspired. They just don't sound. Like when I be on the mic, for example, when I be on the mic or Above the Clouds or Your Streets with ASAP Ferg,
Okay.
or Nas's Like or New York State of Mind or just records like that. You know what I'm saying? Or even
they
a
sound
throwaway joint like Limp Bizkit and Method Man all in together now, something like that, or maybe My Steez, or a full clip, like beats that, or the Militia, or just like something that just sounds like it's like boom, got you nine. Like when I be on the mic, you know what I'm saying? These beats don't, or like the Come Up by AZ. Those beats sounded like they were just like inspiring. These beats sound kind of
that's kind of big, man.
Kind of bland. You know what I'm saying? They sound they sound like all right.
Inspiring is kind of vague because to me, not to cut you, but is Primo the inspiring beat guy? Like I hear what people start naming like his classic records. So you want the classic, authentic Primo sound. Is that not what you just heard with the Ross, Big Sean, and Wayne?
I mean, I thought the record was cool. I mean, I heard the record when it first came out. I ain't spun the block on it since. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But I spin the block on the Come Up. I spin the block on the Moment of Truth. The Moment of Truth is one of my favorite albums. I see my man Jim Reel in the chat. That's the debate. That's the debate. We can have another day. Pete Rock or Primo.
I'm an OP guy.
Most people will say Primo. I like Pete Rock's beats. I'm saying right now, Pete Rock, with this album with Common, sounds a little bit more inspired. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed the Pete Rock songs on this album with Common more so than the song with Nas and the song with Lil Wayne, Big Sean, and Rick Ross. I mean, that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Now,
we enjoy Pete Rock for sounding like Pete Rock. So when I'm hearing for Primo, sounds like Primo. And like I hear a lot of people saying Moment of Truth. Now, if Moment's the Truth, not you, but if that's the only Primo album that's one thing. But if that's the standard, that's okay too. But it's not like that album is full of high energy beats or high. It's not like that's the case. So if that's
I stand corrected. That song that Primo did, my man Jim Reel said the song with the Primo did with the Dog Pound was dope. That was a dope. That was a dope record. I'm just talking about the ones that have been brought to the forefront. The song with Ross, Big Sean.
You've heard better.
Yeah. It's that I haven't spun the block and listened to him again. The song, the Nas song that he did,
right,
was cool. You know what I'm saying? When I heard Wise Up, when I heard what's that song that came out? They didn't put it on the album. They cut it.
Trying.
When I heard Trying, when I hear Fortunate.
Yeah.
When I hear records like that, those records I listened to several times. You know what I'm saying? But when I heard the Primo joints, it kind of was like, and the Rome Streets joint was dope. I'm not discounting that. The Rome Street joint was dope. But I'm saying the last Primo beat that I was like, I spun the block on and I heard it like 4 or 5 times in a row. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I would have to say the ASAP Ferg, Your Streets record. That was when did that record come out?
Last one I went crazy for is the Rome Streets and West Side, and then also the Absol too. But when it comes to Primo, I'm listening for technique. I'm not listening for anything else. I'm listening for Primo's technique, his signature technique. If that's there and it's present, then I'm happy with what I got because I'm going into it like to hear Primo. So, and like I got all the Primo produced albums, or not. I've heard them all. So it's like even down to Black Poet. So it's like I'm hearing those techniques are present. Now, are they always now? I think people are acting like Primo is known for for being like Just Blades, like some over the top super banger. And I'm like, when was he that guy?
No, I'm not saying that. I think people misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not saying every beat's got
And
to be a bang. Not every beat's got to be a smash hit. Not every beat's got to be a banger. I mean, even Our Street Spot by A$AP Ferg wasn't a banger, but it was a dope record. I'm just saying it just didn't. There's Primo beats that I go back and I listen to a lot, right? There's music that I listen to, like, you know what I'm saying? Conspiracy of Hard to Earn. Was it was a Hard to Earn album, right? You know what I'm saying? Wit, you know what I'm saying? That was in Step into the Arena. All those Gangstar songs I go back and revisit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Full Clip, for example, Above the Clouds. You know what I'm saying? The Militia. I mean, it's just they have a different type of sound to them. And it's hard for me to describe because I guess it's a personal preference. I'm just saying I didn't personally go back and listen to those records that just came out. That's just me. And why is that? Could it be I was busy? Could it be I didn't enjoy the records? Could it be it just didn't sound like? But I did play Moment of Truth last week. I did play the Gangstar Greatest Hits album last week. You know what I'm saying? I did play Full Clip this morning while I was working out. So I'm just saying. I'm not gonna call it a banger if it ain't a banger. I'm not saying it needs to be a banger, but it just I listened to the Pete and Common album last week. That was my fourth or fifth listen.
That's like the argument of they're not bumping that in the car. Well, there's like a million cars, so how do we know who's bumping what? So I think that's the same type of argument. Like, I replay it a lot. Like, that's cool, but what if you got like 1,000 albums? So that's why I don't replay it a lot because I have so many.
I mean, let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Jim Real, I want my people to keep it real with me. Was that Primo and Nas song like, messing with anything on that Nas the Common and Pete Rock joint? I don't think it was. You know what I'm saying? I think maybe one or two records you can probably say, but I think for the majority of the album, I think Pete is sliding on them. You know what I'm saying? It's not a competition between the two producers. It's not a competition between the two producers. I guess what you're saying, Leroy, is the expectation between projects, right? You're saying that, what are we expecting from the Nas and Primo album? I'm expecting a dope album. That's all I'm expecting. I hope as artists they connect, they have fun. It's a collaborative experience for them. And right. I expect they give the listeners, the audience, the fans that have been with them for 25, 30 years, something that they enjoy. I don't have any expectations other than that.
Moment of truth is the bar, is what I'm hearing a lot. Now, for me, I that's not my bar. But if that's the bar, okay. As far as Primo's record with Nas, I love the technique. I'm a technique guy. If I go to Pharrell, I want to hear Pharrell. So it's the same as when I go to Primo. If I go to Primo, I want to hear Primo. Now, Primo has never been 100 for 100, meaning if you get a whole album, the whole 100% is some great over the top greatness. No, but about 75% of that thing, about 80% of that thing is going to be. This is the guy this is the godfather of boom bap. Without Primo, I don't even know if we have a genre that we refer to in the way that we do a boom bap. So this is something else. Like, people are, well, do you want a whole boom bap album? Yes. You don't want no big, no. If you weren't a teenager in the 90s, you got no business listening to this album. Now, granted, you ain't got to listen to me. You ain't got to listen, but that's just where my mind is, because I'm from that era of the boom bap, the era of Primo. I'm from that era, so you know what I mean. But I yes, I do want a boom bap album. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why? I'm a MOP guy. I'm a J. Rue the Damager guy. Like, yeah, you know.
I feel you. I feel you. It's, again, like I said, maybe I'm trying to harken it back to the old school nostalgic view of Nas and Primo. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to hear dope music, man. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's subjective. Maybe like people saying that this new joint, what's the joint called?
You Don't Stop. You don't stop.
stop. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. Maybe it's not. I didn't like it like that. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm bugging. I don't know. But I've heard other not Primo songs that I enjoyed, man. I named them earlier. So it is what it is, man. So hopefully the Nas and Primo joint will come out. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Auditorium Volume 2 with Pete Rock and Common. I think that's gonna be dope. We're gonna pull up them on Nashville, and we're hoping to confirm. We should know this week that we'll have an interview with Pete and Common in Nashville before the show. So we'll work on getting that. I'll let you know when we get that confirmed. And either me or Mike D will do it. Either Mike D will do it. Either Mickey Fax will do it, or maybe just all. We'll have like a round table, like lounge session. But that interview is coming with Common and Pete Rock, either in Atlanta or Nashville. So
what I do love about Common and Pete Rock is these are some hip hop guys. So it's like Pete Rock's also a Marvel guy. He's not too happy about the Robert Downey Jr. pick, but these are some hip hop guys. You know, I haven't met them, so it's like I'm hearing through other people, but I love that, man. Like they definitely do this because they love doing it. So
they do. They are hip hop guys, man. I met. Actually, I had dinner with Pete. Maybe 3 months ago with his artist Amir in Nashville. We did an interview. Shout out to Mickey Fax. He did an interview with them at our studios in Nashville. You know, we got multiple places. We in Atlanta, we in Nashville. We gonna be in New York in a little bit. We gonna pull up on some folks. We already. I was in New York. I didn't tell nobody, and we got some folks in New York right now as we speak. But anyway, we had dinner with Pete, and Pete was real cool, man. Pete was like, it was kind of surreal because I grew up listening to this dude in high school, and we walking around Nashville just chilling and vibing, having a conversation. It was like talking to an old friend. I mean, he was talking about his musical process and the stuff that he was working on. And he was kind of telling us about the stuff that he did with Common. It was just cool, man. You know what I'm saying? And we parted ways. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, man, whatever, man. Let me know when you're in New York. I'll let you know when I'm in Atlanta." And it was a good vibe, man. He's good people, man. So he has a love for Marvel comics, and he has a love for sports as well. So we had a lot of conversations about the Knicks, about boxing, and it was just a real cool vibe, man. So, but I keep it a buck. I know a lot of people say I'm kind of biased, but I'm not, man. But he was a real dope brother. Shout out to his artist Amir. Amir's got some real dope work coming out, produced by Pete Rock. We're gonna link up again in Nashville in a few weeks. But yeah, back to this Nas and Primo conversation. I just want to hear dope music, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to
right or wrong answer, man. It's no right or wrong answer. You're not wrong. Yeah, I'm just asking, Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Jim Reel's Jim Reel, and keep it a buck. I did like Magic 3. Magic 3 is one of my favorite albums of the Nas and Hit Boy series. Right. A lot of people don't talk about Magic 3. But that's the album of the whole run that I listen to the most. More than KD3, more than King Disease 1, more than Magic 1. I listen to Magic 3. Pull up my Apple Music and Spotify, you're gonna see Magic 3 got more spins. So
it sounds like the album you should probably listen to the most. Like, meaning like the most easy listening, not to like make it sound dumbed down or nothing, but it's just smooth. It's a smooth listening, same way Common and Pete Rock is a smooth listen. So Magic 3, if someone says they listen to that the most, I could hear that.
And I just people gonna go bull crazy in the comments, but my favorite song out of all the Nas and Hit Boy run was Never Die. And because I'm a Lil Wayne guy. Lil Wayne.
Oh, he killed that.
Nas slid on the record too. That's a dope record, man.
That. Shout out to Wayne, man. Shout out to Wayne. I think he's working with a rapper named Goods now, man. So
Wayne slid on that joint, man. Let's keep it a buck. Can we get Wayne this fly? I mean, Wayne slid on that joint, man.
Oh, but yeah, Wayne is one of them ones, man. Just as far as like people could say what they want, but to do what Wayne did, you better be in front of a microphone every 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So he's one of them.
I get up in the morning and listen to Never Die. I mean, I do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I do, man. It's just You know, I played that joint like 5 times. My wife was like, "Please turn that shit off," but I love it.
All right. All right. No, no doubt, no doubt. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
My
We'll
man, the Rumbles channel is set up. We're gonna send the information out. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be on there tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna play some music, you know, have some fun. We having fun with this shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
We got a lot of big things coming up, Leroy, and we gonna pull up on you, you know, out in LA, man. We just having fun with this, man. We trying to. I just want to take a little time out and say what we're trying to do. I'm gonna give y'all a sneak peek. We're trying to, because I don't really like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I love it. I love doing this show. I love recording hip hop. This is something we started back in 2010, 2000, 2009. I love the platform, but I don't like being these remote podcasts. I don't like them. I like to be in a studio. You know, I like to be, you know, dapper brother up. You know what I'm saying? I like a set. You know what I'm saying? I like to have real conversation with people. I like to go to people's on location. I like stuff like that. So that's what me and Mike D are working on. We trying to get it where we can do some fly shit, where we can kind of, you know, be on location. You know, might be in Miami one day, you know, might be in Houston one day and talk to Bun B. We're working on that Bun B situation too. Talk to Sauce Walker. We're working on that too. Talk to Slim Thug. So we just trying to do different things, man, and trying to kind of differentiate ourselves from this space, because it's easy. It's not easy because it's very hard. It's not easy. You know, I wasn't even supposed to be on this show or any shows, right? I'm a producer, I'm in the background, but I love hip hop so much. I love the company so much. I said, let me jump on. You know, Leroy's jumped on as well. We want to do, but I noticed there's so many people in this space that's doing the same thing. They in front of their computers, in front of their cameras. They got a mic. They talking about hip hop. We can do that all day, but we want to elevate it. We still want to have that raw element. We ain't selling out. We ain't, you know, taking the hip hop conversations away per se. We want to make it where we have more conversations with the actual people that make hip hop. They're in the culture. And I'll actually have more conversations with you guys. That's why we open up the phone line sometimes, and we send you the link so we can have a dialogue. It's according to hip hop, not just us talking. And so, you know, those are just ideas. But back to the show.
I know what you mean.
It was Ron's rant.
I know what you mean. You're not wrong.
Ron's rant for the day.
Yeah.
Ron's rant for the day. But yeah.
You want to go outside. You want to go outside. So I'm with that, man. You know, I think the difference between us and what other people do, I think there are differences. And for those that hear those differences, you can hear that. I'm not going to break down what those differences are, but they're present. You know what I mean? So it just depends on what kind of fan. And this goes back to my question about what kind of album you want. Because if people would have been answering, I can tell what kind of fan you are by your answers. So it's like there are nuances and there are details to the podcast, and you know, wish everybody well, but there are differences, and those that pick up on it, you can hear it. You know what I mean? But I would like to go outside too. I've been outside, and I got to start taking more videos. I'm more of like a private person, but if I got to start taking videos of like what I'm around, people I'm around, what I'm doing, just so people could see like, nah, like hip hop is real. Like it's people, we really live in this. It ain't just when the camera's on. When I leave here, it's still hip hop. The next day it's still hip hop. I'm doing something else, still hip hop. Like, but my life is hip hop. It ain't, you know. So either way, like, you know, this ain't just for the camera. Like, you know what I mean? So.
Right. I see people going back and forth about the Never Die situation. And I think my man, what's my man's name? Jim Real, he say Wayne has zero substance. I disagree, son. I disagree, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think Wayne is very cerebral. And you say, what does cerebral mean? He's very
right.
He's very he's always been like that. He's always been witty, and the way he puts his rhymes together, are not like they're not typical, but there's meaning in what he's saying. It's like it comes across as flashy sometimes, but Wayne is a really, really dope MC. I think he's really underrated as a lyricist, right? He's really in that pocket like that. He's like Icon stepping on Python, spitting that Kion, eating like Zion, peeking at the skyline, reaching for the stars like I'm reaching for the pylon. I sent you on the sideline. And I sent you on the sideline. We need to walk a fine line. We need to read the guidelines instead of reading the timelines. Let's break that down again. We need to read the guidelines instead of reading the timelines. Well, everybody like wine. Nobody flow like mine. I'm sunning these ninjas, got me check coaching ninjas like Prime.
Right.
I never bite mine. Got dough like Taekwon. To spend all this money, I'm gonna have to spend a lifetime. You broke, can't even buy time. Should throw ninjas a lifeline. No money on my mind. I'll be on your wife mind. And hit her on the pipe bomb and pass it to the pipeline. But actually be quite fine. Diamonds on me sparking and splashing like with some white wine. Come on. Diamonds on me sparking and splashing like some white wine. They love me like the nighttime. They hate me when the light shine. Shots I got 100 and problems I got 99. Bugatti Veyron. Take off with no flight time. Bad B on the passenger side. She don't like flying.
Right.
Come on, man. This man just playing with it, man.
Yeah. And I think
playing with it, man.
I don't know about the substance argument, right? Because first of all, there are people outside of all different kind of ages and backgrounds. So substance is subjective. With Wayne, you hear a lot of wordplay. The wordplay is abstract. So it is clever. Now, it may not be the kind of substance that you're used to, but in those bars, they do contain substance, because in him trying to continue the cadence or the certain rhyme patterns that he's using, that takes a brain. And also, you know, if we start getting into substance, right, I can bring up Killer Mike. Well, then people will back out of the substance conversation when the water starts getting too deep. So it's like I don't really pay the substance argument too much of a mind. But Wayne, he does have substance. He focuses a lot on the wordplay, but there is substance there. And I think, you know, if you look for things, you will find it. Like if you look for the substance in Wayne's songs, you'll probably find it. If you're not looking for that, you know, then you're not gonna find it. But this is an art. It's art, y'all. It's like I could find substance in Supreme Clientele, another abstract artist, right? But I could find the substance there if I'm looking for it, right? So if you're looking for it, find it. But it's like the substance argument is too vague, because it's like, you know, it's like, well, how much substance does he have? Does he have 60% substance? Is it 75%? Like, are we measuring substance, or like, you know, like, bro, like we got to calm down, man. That, you know?
Right. So we talked about Big Sean. So I want to put Big Sean on a bow. Album coming out. Check out the Charlamagne interview. I like what Charlamagne is doing with the black and white. See, I was going to do black and white interviews, but now they're going to think I'm biting. You know what I'm saying? They're going to think me biting if I do it like that. But the idea was in my mind first. Charlamagne put it out before we could do it. So I might have to do my joints in color. But anyway.
It's all good. You know?
It's all good. Let's segue to another topic. Vultures 2 dropped. Vultures 2, after months of delay, back and forth, starts and stops. Vultures 2 is unleashed, and it's changing. I hear that it, you know, songs are being swapped out, mixes are being uploaded, reworked. So this is an album that's being released in real time. So Leroy, what say you about Vultures? And I'll give you my opinion on it afterwards.
Okay, well, I listened to it one time, y'all, and I got to be honest, right? Well, first I heard somebody talking about it online, and they were talking about the mixing and how it wasn't mixed down all the way. So I heard that first. I stopped it there, went to listen to the album, and you know, I'm not into it like that, right? I see the vision, I see what he's doing. I appreciate what he's doing. I appreciate the future aesthetic, right? Everyone is a biter of Future now at this point. Why do I say that? Is because if you're an artist, right, and you're going, so to be an artist, you have to go out, perform your music, get your music out there. So what you're going to encounter is when you're performing, you're going to be going on after or before 10 different versions of Future. Like that's what's out there, right? So the crowd is going to be into the sound of Future. So in order to get your own music off, somewhere in your lineup of songs, you're going to have a future-esque type of song. Now, granted, you don't have to do this. I'm not telling people what they have to do. What I am saying is is to keep the crowd engaged, right? To keep the crowd engaged in a certain cadence. A lot of what you're going to hear out there is a future-esque type of cadence. So I get what Kanye is doing, but I think it can be overdone to where now every song sounds like something Future would do, and I'm kind of just over it. Some of the songs, it kind of reminded me of an older Kanye. I think he had one. What was it called? Like take off your dress. I like that beat. I like that, but it's just like just the style of songs, the cadence of it. I understand it, but I think he's overdoing it. And I'm just not in. If I wanted that, I would have just copped the Future project. You know what I mean? I don't need Kanye to sound like Future for me. You know what I mean? So that's me.
You know what? I text Mike D yesterday, and I was like, Kanye is washed. And then I deleted the text because I don't think he's washed. I think just Kanye is different. And his name is Ye now. He doesn't want to be called Kanye. So we want to be respectful to his name change. Ye is just different. So
okay.
Got college dropout, late registration, got graduation.
Right.
You got Yeezus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. You got the college dropout mixtape. You got Watch the Throne. You got 808s and Heartbreaks. You got the album called Ye. You got
a lot of different stuff.
Donda 2. You got The Life of Pablo. So I would think the Kanye as we know him was done it's different versions of Kanye. So Kanye comes out with College Dropout. He's rapping. He's very honest. He's honest. I hate to use this term, an honest MC. Very personal, telling you about his struggles coming up in the game, and we can relate to that. If you look at the Def Jam poetry joint, he's got Bittersweet Poetry. I think there was a song he did with John Mayer. It was unreleased. Should have been on Graduation or Late Registration, but they cut it. So he's always been that lyrically, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So Kanye, as a rapper, as we know it, kind of ended around The Life of Pablo, right? He experimented before with Yeezus. So now we're in this new Kanye. And when I sit back and listen to Kanye's music, and hear me out, guys, I think what he's trying to do, he's kind of creating a new type of music that he's doing with Ty Dolla $ign. It's more like hip-hop folk music, right? It's like a lot of chants, a lot of things that he probably doesn't even have any lyrics written to them. He's just going in the booth. Yeah. It's more like, and maybe it's more harkens back to like African or Native American or even Asian, Indian tribal music where people gather around like stones and sticks and fires and beating drums and they just chanting. That's the type of music. So I can't even call it whack. I just don't think. I think it's an album. I listened to Vultures too. There's a couple records on the album that I liked. Like Fried was a dope record. I think him and Ty Dolla $ign have great chemistry. I think he had his daughters on a couple records called Bomb. Then he's got Chicago and Northwest on a couple records. And I like Sky City. Sky City was a dope. And I think Sky City was like one of the only songs that Kanye is actually rapping, has like a verse. But a lot of these songs don't sound finished. They sound like chants. They sound like tribal music, and it sounds like folk music. So I think it might be a different type of a grade we got to put it on. Again, it's not something I would go back and listen to. And it takes me back to what he was trying to do when he says he does these shows. He doesn't really rap them. It's more of like a listening event. It's like you gather around, you play the music. So I respect it in a certain sense. Do I like it? I didn't like many of these songs. They kind of sound the same. They don't sound complete. They sound like demos. But it is what it is. And I had to accept that Kanye that I grew up on and that I appreciated, that gave us, college dropout, late registration, graduation, The Life of Pablo, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. that Kanye West is
I mean,
47 years old. He's not making music like that no more. And this is the folk music, hip hop folk music. Maybe it's gonna be its own genre. I don't know, but that's what it is, man.
I mean, I'm cool with that, right? If that's the plan, I'm cool with that. But you still got to bring something to the table. If the goal is to try to get as close to Future as you can, and I'm just using him as just the cadence that we understand. Killer Mike is also there as well. If that goal is to go there, then we can go there. But you still got to bring something to the table that's not quite Future, right? Kanye, he did the Jesus Walks back in the day. Killer Mike's album has a lot of religious undertone, and what I'm hearing in the undertones in the streets is Christian rap is around the corner, and it's a lot of that cadence of the Future cadence Christian rap, which I'm anxious to see, to be honest, and I'm anxious to see that.
Was
But
Jesus a king Christian rap?
yeah, no, honestly, I'm being totally honest with y'all. And before I heard that, I actually did hear some Christian rap in the street, and it made me think about that. And the more I keep listening, I'm hearing the undertones of Christianity in the music, and I'm not mad at that. If that's where people want to go, hey, I'm anxious to hear what that's about, because I've been hearing that buzzing underground, right? But it's something. It's not just using a cadence like a Future or Amigos for the sake of using it. You got to add something to it too, also, to where you're not just taking from that sound. We don't just want to take from the Atlanta sound. If you're going to use it, add something with it. And I just feel like the Vultures thing, even though we had Ty Dolla $ign, they're kind of just taking the sound and not really adding much to it. So that's my view. I would have gave Ty Dolla $ign way more range to do Ty Dolla $ign stuff, And Ty Dolla $ign, he's from California. Give that man the range to do his California thing, his LA thing. It would have been me, right? But I just think it leans too hard into a certain cadence without adding nothing to the table.
Yeah. So Ye makes chant rap, folk rap. It's not the rap that we grew up on. It's not the rap that I particularly like. It is what it is, man. So, I see what he's doing.
I mean, I appreciate it. I appreciate trying to be different. But Kanye, come on now. It's like I don't hear we talked about trying too hard, or someone said that earlier last week or the week before. At least try. It doesn't sound like he's even trying. It sounds like he finds the cadence, boom, make the song. Okay, done. Go to the next one. He finds the cadence, boom, done. Make sure it's a Atlanta-esque type of, and I don't got a problem with that. I like that bounce now because I've heard it so much that I'm a fan of it. But you got to add something to it, man. In my view. Maybe I got to listen again, but even that is hard because if you didn't mix it down, you got, it's even tough to listen to it, so that's a misstep in my view, but the old Kanye, I like the first 3 albums. I also like, I like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, but I'm going to stick to the first 2 albums or first 2.5 albums. That Kanye is gone. And that's the Kanye that I like that. I like that music. It's more of a tribe, more of a boom bap, more of a soul sample. That's where I'm at, and that's what I like. I do like someone who's experimental as well. There was a time where he got into the Watch the Throne bag. That was a different bag. The Yeezy bag is a different bag. But this particular bag, I feel like it is kind of vulturing. You are kind of culture vulturing because, you're abusing that down south sound. And again, I'm not mad at it, but don't abuse it. Don't just do it so much that it just becomes repetitive,
Yeah, I mean, I think Ye is an artist that's struggling. He's struggling with his desires of the world.
Okay.
Some people say he's dipping into the occult. Some people say he's dipping into to Satanist places. But then he also speaks, he's a contradiction. He also speaks his love for, of God and Jesus, but then in the next breath he says he's a new Jesus. So it's kind of hard to follow what Kanye is going. But my most interesting verse on the album was Sky City. You know what I'm saying? And he says, "Do heaven got a penthouse that I can rent out?" What's the lyrics here? He says, "Does heaven have a penthouse that I can rent out? I can see Rick James with his feet up on Prince's couch. Always wanted to know, did Biggie get a big house? Do Pac got a thug mansion? Is it pimped out? Is it a place for the Jews and the Gentiles? I heard street ninjas ain't in the top percentile. Real fast. My wife want to know, do y'all got a gym now? She's talking about she's trying to get her waist to slim down. Anyhow, forgive me for the taxes I didn't file. I ain't even got the money back that I lent out. Can't even have a corona. This issue's getting wild. Running around with a mask, without a face mask like I'm Jim Brown. Oh yeah, I heard about your son that you sent down. I wish there was a place that I could send flowers. My OGs wrote me from the joint, like a pen pal. And he asked if he can send a letter to the judge when he begin trial, because we don't know when he getting out. I mean, I like that verse, man. That verse was, I don't know where he was going with it, but it was one of the only Kanye verses that I felt on the record.
I see where he's going with that, and that what you just bring up right now, that verse and just how you feel about it, is why I'm anxious to see where that goes. Like the Killer Mike album is called Sinners and Saints, so I'm just making the parallel with the religious undertone. I'm anxious to see where that goes, only because you can tell people that are serious about that and people that are just maybe just using it, right? So. And I'm not going to judge a person either way because I don't know these people, right? But in hearing the lyrics, you could make that decision for yourself, right? It also raises some questions like, so we talk about the occult or whatever. I don't think you could talk about God without talking about the devil, because they kind of go hand in hand. It's not like they're, best friends or nothing, but to talk about one, you can't really leave out the other. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's kind of.
Yeah, but can you be both? Can you be godly and devilish at the same time? I think that's the contradiction. Maybe I don't know.
I think we're born that way. Now, in my personal opinion, I think we are born with both negativity and positivity. So that's my opinion, right? So like the Killer Mike album, one part he's like, if a hustler's out hustling to send his kids to college, what he's doing is negative, but is there some righteousness in him as well? So that's the both. That's where the both comes in. So I think as humans we're both negative and positive. So that would be devil and God. So
well,
I
don't know. That's another show. In the chat though, let us know what y'all think about the Vultures 2. Is it let's go to the source scale. Is it 1 mic, 2 mics, 3 mics, 4 mics, 5? I know it ain't 5. Let's just start there. It ain't a 5 mic joint. I want to say after listening to it, I'm gonna say 3.5. Now I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna say I'm torn between 3 and 3.5, because again, to me, the production was kind of solid on the album, but it's stuff that I've heard these things before. These are chants. These are folk rap songs. These are just, some of these things sound incomplete.
All out biting Future.
Future's on like 2 or 3 songs on there. So I don't know if he's biting Future. Maybe he's working with Future on these joints. So I give it 3.5. I don't know. I
think I'm gonna give it a 2, man, because it's like, what are we doing? Like, if somebody else, imagine if Nas came out here and made a Future album, would he get the same type of consideration? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not giving it no pass. And frankly, I haven't really been into a Kanye West album for a long time. The one behind me is the last one I was into. But it's like, I expect for someone who doesn't really know what they're doing to go find a sound, latch onto that sound and try to ride it, because you don't really know what you're doing, right? For Kanye West, someone that knows what he's doing, you can make beats, you can write raps, you can do all the things, you know what you're doing. So why go this route? I don't know. Now, in my view, you said it was folk music or folk rap. I think he's making an event rap. Like, he makes music for an event. Like, this album goes with this concert. So when you buy this album, come to this concert. The next album you get is for that concert. You buy that album, you go to the concert. It's event-based music, right? Which I don't have a problem with. But Vultures 1 and 2, you're leaning so hard into one particular sound that it just makes it difficult for me, especially for someone who I know has a soul in them with soul sample ability. And I do think maybe he's just caught in the moment of you're trying to be the biggest thing ever. And for what? You know, what will that do for you? Same with Drake, same with Jay. I'm just saying the question of what will being a bigger artist do for you? If Drake comes out and he becomes even more popular, well, what will that really do when you're already popular around the entire planet? So it makes no sense to chase more popularity at that point. And you know, Kanye's sounds like you're trying to chase Future. What am I chasing Future for? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said, the Kanye West that we know and love, who's now known as Ye, is not here anymore. And I don't think you'll ever hear that again. So we got to accept this new artist in this new form and the music that he puts out, whether we like it or we don't. That's up to us to kind of say. But I'm not expecting anything else. I'm not expecting no dope rhymes. I'm not expecting no beats. I'm not expecting even complete songs. These are, like you said, event type music, you know, bonfire music. It could be occult music. I don't know what the music is, but you know, I'm not going to revisit it. I do like Sky Song. I like what's that song called? Fried. I like Fried. I like that joint. You know, there's a couple joints on there, but I mean, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Shout out to Ye.
Right there. ASAP Rocky's right. You couldn't call ASAP and be like, yo, let me hear what you're doing.
Shout out to Ye.
You know,
might sound crazy. We got inroads with Ye too. We gonna try to get him. You know, he ain't gonna interview with us, but we might be able to pull up. He might pull up on us. We might, you know, the crazy things have happened.
That's cool. You know, I mean, but again, it all comes back down to the music, and it's like Kanye at some point was known for bringing something new to the table, right? I mean, in my mind, or going in a new direction. So go in a new direction. You know what I mean? ASAP, his new record, it sounds like the old record, but kind of new too. But it's like, it's something different. If we're gonna go different, let's be different. But if we're just gonna go the same,
hey, Mark DJ, we get into the next topic. I know you don't want to talk about Ye. What would you like the next topic to be? We got 3 things on the thumbnail. So we got Big Sean. We already talked about that. We already talked about Ye, Vultures 2.
We did.
And we got Megan Thee Stallion as a third picture on the thumbnail. We can get into that.
Put me on that because I don't know where you was going with that. Well, put me up on that.
Well, no, she performed at Vice President Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta earlier this week. She got some pushback because she was twerking on the stage, and I just wanted to I know we had a conversation a couple weeks ago about the crossroads of politics and hip hop. You know, we're gonna see a lot of rappers out here on the stump, whether it be for President Trump or whether it be for Vice President Harris. And you know, what are your thoughts? You know, was this acceptable? Was this a good look for hip hop? You know, what does this say about, you know, our power in our how can we say it, our political capital when we have Meg Thee Stallion twerking at a political event?
Well, I mean, if it's Meg Thee Stallion, she does Meg Thee Stallion stuff. I mean, I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised at that. My whole thing is for the voters, I say go on what you feel. Like, I'm not trying to tell you what to feel or what to support. Go to what speaks to you, right? As far as what hip hop is to the political world, we got to ask ourselves, like, what do we project to the political world as well, too? So if we are projecting a twerk type of culture, then if they expect that from us, we got to ask ourselves too, what did we project in the first place? Now, I'm not mad at Megan, or she didn't start twerking. If twerking came before her time, but it's like, you're gonna get what you show people, right? If you show people a certain way about yourself, then when you come into that room, that's what they expect to see because that's what you projected, right? If hip hop project a Killer Mike type of mentality? Does it project a common type of mentality? Is hip hop MAGA now? Are we? Or should we go MAGA? Should we be? So hip hop has to figure out. Well, what is it that you want to project? Right now, I realize that there are only two options, left or right. Right. I have my own view about what I think hip hop leans toward. But I also don't fault Megan also because to be real with you, right? To capture the attention of a crowd when you're speaking or when you're opening up for somebody, a speaker or whatever, you have to raise the energy of the crowd. Now, I mean, again, you don't have to, right? But as melanated people, as Black people, right? We are a rhythmic people, a people that like to have a good time, right? So even in our struggle, we still like to have a good time. So if whatever she did up there, if it raised the energy in the room, I understand that's part of hip hop too, is to move the crowd. That's actually textbook rapper stuff. So, I think we got to ask ourselves, where do we stand politically as hip hop? And I don't know, because no one's telling me. Hip hop's not telling me where they stand. So,
right. I mean, I think all politicians have used celebrities to push forth their agenda, to get people excited. I just don't think it's a good look. I think what it says to me is that could be the parties or whatever the campaign's view of Black people. I think we're better than a twerk. I think there's a lot of issues going on in our communities. No matter where you stand on it, you know what I'm saying? You can be on this side, that side, but it's more important things than twerking. I think that's not a good. This is a serious situation. There's a lot of people that even on a local level. Let's talk about a local level. Shout out to my guy IL, Politics and Black Families. This is his show. He really focuses on the local level, right? So a lot of times we get focused on the big ticket items like CNN,
right.
Fox, president, but there's a lot of local politics that dictate, where school funds get allocated, how potholes get fixed or what's getting built in your neighborhood. So that's more tangible, right? So, but there's a lot of local folks in that arena. So I think we better than. I mean, my question is, do you ever see any other communities have people twerking at their political events? So, for example, the Asian community or the or the Puerto Rican community, maybe, or
do they even show up?
Or the Indian community, or maybe just say I don't know, the French community. I don't know. Do you see those people bringing twerkers out to spread a message? I don't know. I've never been to one of those events. Maybe they got people twerking at those events. I don't know, but I wouldn't think that if she was going to like an Asian community and trying to get her message across, would she have Asian twerkers or would she have like Indian twerk? I don't know. Maybe they do that. You know what I'm saying? But
are the other communities as good as us in hip hop?
Say it again.
The other communities don't. No disrespect, but y'all not as engaging as us. Like as far as if we're talking about lifting the energy of the people in that crowd, if are Asians or other groups going to do it better than we do it? I don't know.
No, that's not my point. My point is when they go to these different communities, they bring out entertainers that clap their cheeks. Do they bring those people out in front of them? But when it comes to our community, they bring out folks like that clap their cheeks. And I'm just wondering, why is that? You know what I'm saying? Why do they feel the need to do that to our community, but they wouldn't do that to other communities? They wouldn't bring out, if they were going to get the Asian vote, or they were going to get the Hispanic vote, or they were going to get the Indian vote, they wouldn't bring out Megan Thee Stallion to twerk. They would probably bring out some people, talk about policies, and they would probably bring out some business owners. They would probably bring out some educators, but they wouldn't. But for our community, they feel the need only to get us excited is that we got to see some booty cheeks clapping, and I don't know if that's the best look. Whether it's WWE and it's all theatrics, whatever, but the subliminal message that sends that all we are is just a people that just
subliminal messages.
you get us excited by seeing something. I hope my wife's not watching. I get
another group better than us,
but you know,
subliminal messages. When it comes to subliminal messages, right? And everyone keeps talking about the cheeks, and you know, I guess she looked goofy to y'all, which I'm not mad at, right? But subliminal messages. So one thing is a feeling. A feeling is a subliminal message, right? So in her twerkness, right? She's twerking. And if you see the crowd engage with that and they like that, well, yeah, other people may well, that's not very sophisticated or very smart. I understand that, but there are subliminal energies that go with that. Now, if the other groups have that in them to do that, then they can make their speech and see if that's more engaging than what Megan Thee Stallion did. Now, I get both sides of the argument, right? But we are it's like when you go to a black church, right? You're listening to the pastor. Does the pastor just read from the book with a straight face, a straight business delivery? No, the pastor starts getting loose. And the more the pastor goes on, he gets a little more loose. Then he starts raising his voice. Then he starts catching the spirit. By the time you're done, he done caught the full Holy Ghost. Why do I say this? It's because we feel what we say. That's why when black folks talk to another black person, the person says, I feel you. You felt what? I'm just talking. But we do feel. And I think the energy that Megan sent through that arena is a feeling. It's not something that you can decode with the language of a policy. You know, I think the person after her who wants to talk policy can do that. But her job is to send the energy through that room. Now, if we want to say that's just clapping cheeks, no, I get it. But as a people, it's a little bit more to that. It's more of a science than that. We come from banging on the drums before we go to war, right? And we're fighting for revolutions and stuff like that. They said that, you know, black folks would just keep on fighting. They would get shot 100 times. They still up fighting. So the what's in them drums is powerful, you know?
let me correct my man, Jim Real real quick. I'm a happily married guy, you know, my wife
right,
probably upstairs, you know, on the top floor of our house watching this in our bedroom. So I wouldn't, you know, risk anything for those cheeks of Megan. I wouldn't do that.
Right.
But I would, you know, I would say I would hope that Megan would, you know, do. And I like Megan. Do what you do. You know what I'm saying? I don't like her music like that. She's not, you know, I don't listen to her. Why would I? I'm a married father. You know,
it's not for us.
It's not for me.
Yeah.
But the only person, you know, I would never do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a very committed married man, happily married man. So I would never risk anything to clap any cheeks.
We're not questioning that. We got you.
I wouldn't. But maybe, you know, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But there's exceptions to every rule. But exceptions to every rule. Yeah. But hopefully my wife's not watching this. But yeah, I digress. So in the chat, let us know. Let us know.
And we go to the strip club, not you, Ron, but as a community, right? We go to the strip club. Let's be real. So if we're gonna be real, we go to the strip club. So we like that type. We like that type of activity, right? Is it always appropriate? No. Could she have had Rhapsody? Yes, but it's like I wasn't there. Depending on what they were going for, the energy. We do know that Megan does her thing, and people seem to like that. And it's like, you know, I just think if you get Rhapsody, you get one thing. If you get Megan, you get one thing. If you get Ice Spice, you get one thing. So they got Megan. So if Megan, you call Megan, she gonna do Megan things. You know what I mean? So
hey man, so yeah, this is gonna heat up as we're gonna switch topics. I want to really get some time to talk about Chino XL. And I want to get some time to talk with the ASAP Rocky, but this is going to be more of a conversation. Let us know, man. I know we want to keep it hip hop. Maybe there's another show like Politics and Black Families, Black Families and Politics. My guy IL. Maybe we'll put that on Sundays, kind of like Meet the Press, Face the Nation. this week. Maybe we'll have like a hip hop
Oh,
politics show on Sundays, so we can keep the main shows, the Weekend Rhyme, Mic Check,
at
Court
least this season,
Live. But
right?
I mean, this is going to be a conversation. I mean, we can't escape it. I mean, people going to be talking about this, man. So we got 90 days to the election. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a short time. It's really just this time period. Like we always stay on hip hop, but this particular time period, it only comes around once every 4 years. And again, I'm not here to try to judge nobody's opinion. I just want to hear what your opinion actually is. That's what I just want to hear what are people's real feelings. So I know, you know what I mean? That's all I'm interested in hearing because like I said, I was saying before, I'm from the Ice Cube era. If you go back and listen to them early Ice Cube albums, he was very opinionated about politics. If you go back and listen to the Public Enemy albums, they were very opinionated. Are we still there, or did we go somewhere else? So I just want to hear,
Well, yeah, I think I might 2028 I might run for president, but we'll see.
Hey, come on down, man. I'll vote for you.
Yeah, I want everybody in the chat to vote for me.
We'll
have the most lit inauguration party of all time. But
get ice in the building.
They might take me out though. They might not let me make it. You know what I'm saying? Because
give you Secret Service, you gonna be good, bro. They didn't get you.
I might be too how can I put this? I might be too authentic. You know what I mean?
Probably.
I might not be the right variation to make it. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
I might not have the right ingredients to make it. You know what I mean? But,
yeah, you gotta be special to make that a different kind of special.
No doubt. But let's segue. Let's get off of that. Chino XL. You had some news. You actually hit us before the passing was announced that you heard that Chino had transitioned.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on Chino XL, his legacy, and what he meant to you as a lyricist in this hip hop game we're in?
Well, I heard from some friends of Chino XL while I was in Los Angeles that he had passed. So some friends of his said that, and also there was some family that kind of know people that he knows. So I heard that. And my first thought about it was, it's a sad situation, but I did think about the lyricism, obviously, because you're saying the name Chino XL. I grew up listening to the Sway and Tech Wake Up Show. I listened to, his first album and a little bit of his music. So I did think lyricism because you're telling me about Chino XL. And, I always have a thought of, giving people their flowers while they could smell them. You know what I mean? Because, you just never know. So those were my initial thoughts. The emotion from the people who I heard it from, it let me know that, he really did mean something to people. He meant something to me, but see, I never met Chino XL, and I never, those last few albums I didn't listen to. It's not that, but, I just, as a fan, I just knew him as a fan. I didn't personally know him. But I do remember listening to them early freestyles, man. And as far as just like double time speed rapping, as far as the punchlines are concerned, the wittiness, as far as just like, I'll use the term shock value, but just not being afraid on saying a person's name in a context of something that they either did or said, which is a little crazy, right? So he wasn't afraid to go there. And this is somebody who is a rapper. Like right before I got that news, I was listening to the Rock Him album because I'm thinking that we were going to have the live. So I wanted to listen to the album so I could give you a solid breakdown of the album. So when I got to the Chino XL verse on Pendulum Swing, I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, dude is going crazy. So, it was a sad situation to hear. And I do think that the lane that he represents, right? There is the lyrical miracle lane. And I don't really like using that term, but I know that other people are going to use it. I do think that we should carve out that name, carve out that lane in honor of people like Chino XL, because a rapper's rapper, someone who puts lyricism at the forefront, someone who's just, you could feel the hip hopness just in every breath they take on the mic. I think that deserves a lane in hip hop. Like, we talk about subgenres, we talk about different lanes, we talk about literary devices, we talk about just bars. Why not have a lane where that's the primary importance, or where that's a priority, right? We have a lane where the hooks are dope, the melody is dope, the regional sound is dope. Why not have a lane where the bars is the focus? Why not? And I think Chino XL, his passing, it does inspire me to kind of push for that. You know what I mean? Because I was saddened by it, and my condolences to the family. I just hope we do better and give people their flowers while they're here, man. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we need to do that, man. That's a really poignant argument. Is acknowledging people while they're here, celebrating while they're here. Big Sean talked about that in the interview with Charlamagne. He was like, he talked about a story about Kobe. Kobe saw him on New Year's Day. You know what I'm saying? He transitioned maybe 3 weeks later. So he liked his music, you know what I'm saying? And he wanted to come by his studio and listen to some of his music, but he never got the opportunity to do that. Right. And what Sean was saying was like, you got to make sure, even with Nipsey, him and Nipsey were working on a record when Nipsey was still amongst us, amongst the living on earth. And when he transitioned or was taken from us, they didn't get a chance to complete the record. So, I mean, as we get older, we need to celebrate people. You know what I'm saying? Make sure we honor our elders. Make sure we honor people that are in our lives, and just say, "Hey, yo, I appreciate you. I appreciate your impact," and really show the OGs love, man. Show a OG like Roz Cost love. You know what I'm saying? Show a OG like DOC love, Too Short love. You know what I'm saying? Bun B. You know what I'm saying? Even Kool Moe D, Hurt. You know what I'm saying? Rakim, you know what I'm saying? Cool G Rap, you know what I'm saying? All the pioneers, Uncle Luke, you know what I'm saying? Jermaine Dupri, people that, impacted hip hop as we know it. And normally with some, Scarface, Willie D, just the old school people, man. MC Light, you know what I'm
saying? Aside from that, and not to cut you, because those people deserve love too. And to even big up on your point, I had on a Nipsey Hussle t-shirt when I was in LA. The love people giving me just for the shirt, so it lets you know the love they had for the individual, right? But it's after the fact now. But the lane, when I'm saying lyrical miracle, I'm saying the lane that Chino XL was in, that is a sacrifice, not a sacrifice in the biblical sense, but a sacrifice in the, those guys that are so lyrical that it stops their trajectory, because that lyrical line is not going to reach the little kids. So that's going to cut your potential. And they still stand on that. I think we should give those MCs love, man. We should give, because that is a raising of the bar, raising of the IQ. You mentioned Razkaz, but that's someone that's standing on the integrity of lyricism. And I think we should respect them, because that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you respect somebody else any less. Like, because I respect what a Razkaz doesn't mean I don't respect Too Short. It just means I respect what Razkaz does. That's all. You know what I mean? And that's a sacrifice, y'all. And a lot of MCs have made that sacrifice to the point to where the label's saying, "Yo, we got this song that it's a kid's bop," and they're like, "Nah, I'm gonna stay with what I do." And I appreciate the MCs that stood on that line, because that line cost a lot of them their career. You know what I mean? So, but it is what it is.
Shout out to Chino XL. Shout out to his family. Mad Max, you're wrong. Kanye's album discography is not all that bad. I think you're just you're hating a little bit, brother. You're hating a little bit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
You know,
don't let
just
me
hate
get
it.
started. Don't get me started because I like the first two. Kanye, all of Kanye's albums got something that's cool, but them first two is the ones I really like. After that, it gets kind of spotty. In my opinion, gets kind of spotty. You know,
Nah, it don't get my beautiful dark twisted fantasy might be his best work. So
I don't know about that. I got it on. I got it behind me, and it does. As far as like a certain kind of song, yes. If you're going for the stadiums, yes. But is it late registration? No, no. Is it
few,
college dropout? No.
few things are. Few things are. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
yeah.
few things are. So I think we covered all the topics, man. I'm gonna put the link in the chat if y'all are kind enough to call in or tap in. The link is in the chat. And we love to talk to you because this is according to hip hop. You know, it's just not just us talking all day long. We
Yeah.
wanna make sure that people are heard.
Still, and come through. Still here. You said thinking about their rap careers in their last moment, or I can assure you that MCs that passed weren't thinking about their rap careers in their last moment. I can kind of disagree with that because first, I don't know what they were thinking, but the artists that do this for a living, that put their career does mean a lot to them, right? Because it's how they feed their family. So I can't say that these artists weren't thinking about their career because, like, when you meet these artists, you can tell that they put their life into this. We talk about hip hop as if it's it's just some passing fad or something that's not really that important. No, these artists out here putting their life on the line. They're going to doing different shows in different neighborhoods they're not from. They're carrying a certain integrity in the bars. They're keeping the lyrics sharp. They're trying to get the best production. They're making the videos. A lot of times they're doing everything out their own pocket. They're taking losses. It's not all wins. They're representing us as a people, not all artists. Some artists are representing us as a people. Chino XL, he had his Puerto Rican side on the table as well as his black side. It's like, bro, I don't want to undermine what these artists put. They give their life to this. Like, you look at an artist that's been rapping 25, 30 years, that ain't no passing phase. That's like that artist put his life on the line for this. I respect that, man. Respect that. That's all. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
respect that, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Again,
Right. Just saying.
We covered a lot tonight. We wanted to make sure we delivered a weekend rhyme to the people. Wanted to make sure that you guys had a weekend hip hop podcast. Again, I'll put the link in the chat. Guys don't want to chop it up with us tonight. I understand. It's a free flowing show tonight. We talked on the Big Sean, Charlamagne interview. We talked about not Ice Spice, Meg Thee Stallion with the Vice President Harris's campaign rally, and we talked about Vultures 2. Chime in, let us know if you want to call in. We'll leave it open for like 5 minutes. If not, we'll get up out of here. But talk about the ASAP Rocky record. What did you think?
I loved it, man, because there's a certain sound, there's a certain ASAP sound. First of all, I always gave ASAP credit for not saying that, he comes from Harlem, right? So you would think that, okay, he comes from Harlem, he got to have a New York sound, a Harlem-esque type of style and delivery. But he went with what he felt, right? He felt the sound of the South, like Houston, Memphis. That's what he felt in his spirit. And he wasn't afraid to just make that. You know what I mean? Now, we talked about Kanye earlier, but I also said adding something to that sound. And I feel like what ASAP was able to do is take that sound of the South and add his own flavor to it as well. And you could kind of hear that with Long Live ASAP, with his mixtape album and stuff like that. So it's a certain he gives me punk rock vibes, or I'll say punk rap, because it's not rock and roll, but I'll say punk rap if that's a thing. It gives me a down south vibe. It gives me a UK vibe. It gives me kind of Clams Casino, kind of a cross between dubstep and EDM. So it's like I like someone who is creative in that way with their sound. And when I heard the new song Hijack, it had a familiar it made me feel like the same way I felt when I came across his music early on, like his early on mixtapes. And I like that sound. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't. Wiz Khalifa just had another album. It kind of reminded me of his older work, but not as good. No shots at Wiz Khalifa. I love Wiz Khalifa, but not as good as the orange juice, the cushion orange juice days. But with this new joint with ASAP Rocky, it made me feel like that early ASAP stuff and ASAP Rocky stuff, and I like that stuff. I like the sound of it. As far as rapping goes, I always thought he was talented at rapping. He has a certain delivery that I can appreciate. Is he the most lyrical? No, but does he have a great delivery? Yeah, and does he have a sound that is his own, like a sound that is him? Yes, and I can appreciate that. So I am looking forward to his music and what he's going to do with this new album. He had an interview with Zane Lowe, and it sounds like he's excited about it, man. It sounds like he got something to say. It sounds like the sonics on it are going to be something different. So
no doubt. My man, Mad Max, you're in the building.
What's up, sir? Mad Max.
What's on your mind, sir?
That Kanye West album was what? Well, first off, let me start with R.I.P. Chino XL. I wasn't too into him, but let me start with that. I respect him.
Right.
Kanye West, your Vultures 2 album was whack. You've been whack. And hip hop's gonna stop making excuses for you. You're a pop artist who watered down hip hop. We're gonna talk about that one day, not tonight though. And that new ASAP Rocky song, mid. You can keep that. That's not the ASAP Rocky I know. That's not.
What ASAP Rocky do you know? Because the ASAP Rocky ain't had a hot joint since President Obama was in the White House. So what are you talking about?
That hot joint is one of the whoa. Don't do this, Ron.
When the last time ASAP slid on the joint?
ASAP Rocky has a classic mixtape. We're not no. He has a classic out like project. We're not doing that.
When?
Hey man,
Love ASAP isn't a classic.
No, I'm saying that when's the last time ASAP had a dope record?
Right. It's been a minute.
The year.
It's been a minute.
The year, Mad Max. The year.
Probably 2017. When he had the little ASAP Mob tape, Volume 1 or Volume 2, one of them. 2017.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, man. My son wasn't even
Distortion, born. Right? An album called Distortion or something like that.
No, that wasn't.
My son wasn't even born. He in second grade. So
you talking like ASAP. First off, ASAP Rocky is a legend. All right, he's a legendary Harlem nigga. He's a legendary Harlem nigga.
You from up top, so you can speak to that. I can't speak to that. I'm in Atlanta, so I can't speak to how legendary he is. And this is somebody who thought ASAP was that guy. I still thought ASAP, when ASAP first came out, I think ASAP came out around the Wale time, the Kendrick time, Joey Badass time. I think Action Bronson was out. I think my man Yellow Wolf was bubbling at that time. What's my man from Big Crit was bubbling at that time.
At the same time,
ASAP was like, I thought ASAP was going to be that guy. And it just didn't work out like that. I don't know, for whatever reason it was. You know what I'm saying? I think he might have got, too much. He might have been doing
ASAP Rocky.
It seemed like it worked out great.
So I wouldn't. I don't know. I gotta go to. when I'm in New York again in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna walk around Harlem and see if he's legendary. If his name rings bells like that. I don't know.
Listen, let me tell you something about ASAP Rocky. That first project, Live Love ASAP, that's a classic. I don't think that Harlem niggas gonna lie because of Cam. Cam is a different breed, but I don't think there's one person from Harlem with a full body of work better than ASAP Rocky's first mixtape from Harlem. I don't think that. Harlem World was close. Cam has some joints, but
Harlem World was kind of crazy, bro. I mean, it's
Harlem World was close, but I don't think Harlem World was a classic. It's close though. It has some joints.
But ASAP, you're right. I was thinking more so the ASAP debut album. But if someone said the mixtape too, I wouldn't argue with that. But in my mind, yeah. And when that first came out, I wasn't an ASAP dude. I was looking at ASAP as a biter. I was looking at ASAP as it was not favorable. So when I got the album, it wasn't to give it props. I was going to get that because I was also, I mean, this, like I said, this ain't my first rodeo. I was doing blog stuff back then too, like some big names that y'all wouldn't even believe. But I was listening to the record and I was about to trash it. When I put on the record and listened to it, I couldn't trash it. I said, nope, this is actually dope. So I had to give it up. And I said it was the best album that year. So out of that entire year, I went with that ASAP debut album.
So Mad Max, I'm gonna put you to the test, man. I'm gonna go to 135th and St. Nick. There's a barbershop out there. I'm gonna take the ABCD train. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get up for 135th and St. Nick. I'm gonna go to the barbershop and I'm gonna sit in the chair. I'm gonna pick a barber. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna poll the audience. You know what I'm saying? I might even turn the camera on. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna see if they say in Harlem, in the middle of Harlem, if ASAP is a legend. We're gonna see.
They probably won't, but I'm gonna say it because that first mixtape, I'm not gonna really say I'm saying like the only rappers out of Harlem I think of is Cam, Mace, Big L, and after them three, the only other rapper you directly think of is all right, maybe Jewels, but then is ASAP. Like he's top 5.
Right.
He's top, I mean, of news I remember, unless Kumo D is from Harlem, but I know he's from Manhattan.
I get what you mean. No, you ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. I got you. I agree.
So like, it's not like Harlem has that many dudes.
Right.
Harlem doesn't have that many, unless they're gonna start saying like the battle rappers. Now, battle rap wise, they got like 50 legendary battle rappers from Harlem.
Right. We got. Let's add Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan, welcome to the show, sir. What's on your mind tonight, man?
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing, man?
I'm good, man. You was working on some music last time I spoke to you, man.
Yeah, man.
What's that?
Man, I wanted to like highlight, you know what I'm saying, some groups that like really don't get they just do, like the Lost Boys. I wanted to highlight them because like I felt like the Lost Boys, Mr. Cheeks, you know, rest in peace, Freaky Ty. I feel like they don't get they like just do, you know what I'm saying, when you talk about like, you know, East Coast rappers, you know what I'm saying? And that Legal Drug Money album is a classic to me. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and listen to that album got a lot of dope songs on it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of hits on it. And I feel like they don't get they just do it. And I wonder why. Oh no, I want to get y'all opinion on that.
Well, they made a lot of anthems, man. And I rock with the Lost Boys back then. And I think at that time you have a lot of splits in hip hop, meaning people are going in every which direction. Some people are following Bad Boy. Some people are following Rough Riders. Some people are following, well, Lost Boys a little bit before that. But people are picking their certain camps. Or I rock with Wu-Tang. Or I rock with this, that. So Lost Boys, I think they got lost in the shuffle only because people looked at them as some type of like party rappers, because a lot of their singles, it would make you think like that. And then you got Onyx coming right out from that same area. So people just picking sides, you know what I mean? I was an Onyx head. But Lost Boys, they, as far as making anthems for New York City, they got to be up there. Because
Mr. Cheeks was a game spitter though. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, he had like like, I know y'all talk about like Jay-Z, the conversational flow. He kind of had that like flow in him when he rapped. And I really like thought he was like underappreciated, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to hip hop. Nobody really talks about them. And they had a lot of hits. Like you said, they had a lot of anthems, you know what I'm saying, in the 90s. And they just get overlooked, I feel.
No, you're right.
No doubt. We might need to do another my other podcast partner, Vay. We do a show called Around the Culture, and we did an episode called The Most Underrated MCs. You might do a episode called Most Underrated Groups. Who else you thinking, Chris, is overrated? We got the Lost Boys. Who else you think don't get that love?
Another group is like, you know what I'm saying, that I grew up on, you know what I'm saying. I'm 37, so I got on to them like, you know what I'm saying, in the late 90s is 8 Ball and MJG. MJG is one of the most underrated rappers to come from a group too, from a duo. Like,
Fire.
you know what I'm saying? His ball work is
Fire.
crazy. But I don't know if because they're from Memphis and that, you know, 3-6 Mafia sound was more popular, that you know what I'm saying, MJG as a lyricist got overlooked, but that's another group that kind of like, you know, but behind, you know, the Locks, you know what I'm saying, and Jadakiss and Styles P, I feel like, and probably, you know what I'm saying, you know, Big Boy and Andre, I feel like they got the best like back and forth besides those two groups, you know what I'm saying, in hip hop, in my opinion.
2 Chains before 2 Chains. That's what
Yeah, yeah.
2 Chains. That cadence switch he doing and punchlining and no, MJG was crazy.
Yeah, I was listening to his verse on Pimp Hard, like his verses on the song Pimp Hard, man, it was tough.
No, he was raw. Raw.
No More Glory was a dope album. Yeah, coming out hard. I mean, No More Glory. I mean, I like Lost, but by 8 Ball. 8 Ball's
the Lost, yeah.
The triple disc.
Double. The song with Redman on there to start off the second disc. Fire.
He had a song with Heavy D, 8 Ball, Heavy D, and who else was on that record?
I remember that.
That was a dope record. And then you had when they hooked up with Bad Boy, like No Drama. Yeah. You know, Puff had the ad libs or whatever. But yeah. We might do an episode, most underrated groups. And I'm sorry, we apologize. We had some editing issues. The hip hop movie episode is coming next week. Apologize for the delay. We're gonna talk about the soundtracks, the actors, you know, New Jersey Drive. We're gonna talk about South Central. We're gonna talk about Above the Rim. We're gonna talk about Boys in the Hood, Men's Society, New Jack City. We're gonna talk about what else? We're gonna talk about Friday, of course. Juice,
the Hood classics.
The Hood, you know, I'm About It. We're gonna talk about all these hip hop movies. Who had the best performances? Who had the best soundtrack? Who had the best? Who was the best villain? Who was the best supporting actor, actresses? We're gonna be better, bigger than the Oscars. We just gotta. It's me and Vay. We just haven't. The editing has been taking a long time, man. My MacBook blew up and I had to start all over. So anyway,
the best villain is probably between LL when he played that God character.
Oh, In Too Deep. Yeah,
that was
fire movie.
Wow.
Fire movie.
He was wilding in there.
My man,
obviously Pac from Juice. I mean,
my man, which was wilding too. I think my man Rico was paid in full. Rico was tripping, man.
Yeah, Rico was only tripping towards the end, man. That don't really.
That's kind of foul what Rico did, though, man.
It was foul, but
on some chicken
that's
soup.
The worst villain. Did you remember what LL was doing as God in that movie?
Yeah, LL was wild.
Like that's not even close. Or Bishop. Bishop was worse than Rico.
For sure.
Was Debo then Rico? No, God was on another level. God was wilding out. So
God was a different level, bro. Like that's not even close to me. If you talk about just the villain, that's not even close to me.
Rico did was foul though. That was foul what Rico did, man.
Rico was foul, but Rico was Bishop. They were the same character, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, based on a true story, man. It's like, you know, people that want to play in the street, you better be careful, man. It's gonna be your man in the back seat that do you in. It ain't gonna be the dude from across the tracks. That's why the streets is treacherous, man.
And I'll save it for the episode, but most underrated hip hop, and I put that on quotes because we got to define hip hop movie. I like OG Bobby J. You know what I'm saying? South Central was a dope film, man. I actually enjoyed South Central more. I enjoy South Central more than I like Boys in the Hood, and I like South Central more than I like Ministers. That's just me. That's the movie I watch more. I watch South Central more than I watch those other two. I'm not saying they better films, but I like South Central more than the other ones.
I mean, I'm biased. I've been watching Boys in the Hood since I was 5. That movie's been out for a long time, man.
Right. Ice Cube killed his role in Boys in the Hoods. He killed that. You know what I mean?
And I felt OG Bobby Bobby J, because he was trying to get his son out that life. And I got sons, so I got a daughter as well. But he's like, I just want my son. You know what I'm saying? I kind of felt that. You know what I mean?
Down.
But man, so many hip hop movies, man. New Jersey Drive is another one that slept on. CB4. You want to go the comedy route? There's a lot of joints, man. I know Chris Hogan, you from New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
I'm About It was out there.
Yeah, I'm About It. Yeah, that was a fire movie.
Do we count as a hip hop movie? That one with they wasn't really doing hip hop. He was singing though. The one with the dude from Empire. Was it Hustle and Flow? That's not hip hop.
Okay.
You count that?
Hustle and Flow. Yeah.
That's a hip hop movie.
Yes.
I don't know if you mean like does a hip hop artist have to be in the movie or?
No, it's gotta have a soundtrack. It's gotta be something that the culture embraced.
All right. So ATL would count too, right?
Say what?
ATL.
Above the rim, man. What y'all know about Above the Rim? Fire.
That's a classic.
Fire. That's a classic. Yeah.
That's a classic.
Birdie, man. Come on, Birdie. You know what I'm saying?
Birdie, y'all see the when Katie checked into the game, and then there was a meme on like Twitter, and it was like they showed the clip from Above the Rim when Pac was like, what the hell is this? Checking the game. That's not rolling.
No, that movie's fire, man. Yeah, we got to get to that episode, man.
Yeah, the episode's gonna drop, man. So we just queuing it up, man. But
you see my locks. You see my locks.
Which mean?
Tiny Desk. I know y'all.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that before we get out of here. Do y'all see the Locks Tiny Desk?
Yeah, Sheik Luch MVP, man. That guy is underrated as well. Sheik Luch. Yeah, they did their thing.
I always thought Sheik should have been a bigger star. I like Sheik. You know what I'm saying? But he never got that. Styles P and Jada kind of got the shine. You know what I'm saying? Because even Styles P kind of broke out, later in the career.
Right.
As with what I'm saying, as a solo artist, and Sheik never really popped off like that. But I did enjoy the Tiny Desk. I thought it was dope, man. It's good seeing the Locks get their flowers, while they're here. You know what I'm saying? So
I think Sheik didn't pop off because he just didn't have that one song that crossed over. Like Jada
his
had
verse,
Why. He had all
his verse on Money Power Respect is fire though. Like,
I mean,
out of this world.
That's a group song. So I'm talking about like Jada. Styles had Good Times,
right?
And then Jada had Why. He had certain songs. So it's like, plus they also do more mainstream features than Sheik. Sheik is low-key just an underground artist, though.
Like my man said in the chat, Sheik got off on the Benjamins, though. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that's I remember.
But I'm just saying, when you think about it, like going into the 2000s, like you guys are naming songs from the 90s, like going into the 2000s, Good Times is a crossover record. Casual people know that song. Right. You can't name a Sheik Luch song that a casual person just might know.
Right. He didn't break out like that, but she got highlights. She got highlights. Even on the song, Jada kind of got off on that. But on the Rough Riders, she got off on that joint. I'm trading in the cop those muchachos. You know what I'm saying? She got off.
Colossal size Picassos. Man, colossal size Picassos.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say trying to downgrade Sheik, because I met Sheik and he's mad cool and I rock with Sheik. He is that ill. I'm just saying. Right. I just think if he had a Good Times or a Why, he would have been just as big of a star, because I think he's also more approachable than I don't know if about approachable, but he kind of like when you see him on like the Tiny Desk, he has a lot more I guess friendlier energy. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
I got you. I know what you mean. Yeah, but really,
y'all think they got the best chemistry as a group? Like, I think they got the best chemistry I done seen, like performance wise, out of a group.
I can see that. Underrated group, to go back to your point about the Lost Boys too, is I was an MOP guy, man. MOP, them was my guys right there. So I know that's a lot of crazy yelling and a whole bunch of crazy gun bars, but you know, when we talked about Primo earlier, I just remembered the beats he did a lot of those MOP albums. So I think they're underrated as well. People bring up Mobb Deep all the time, and as deservingly so. But I think MOP was just as dope as Mobb Deep too. You know what I mean? Or at least close. You know. So you know.
Yeah, we gotta do that show. Most underrated groups. We'll do that show, and we'll get that going, man. But let's get out of here. Let's we wanted to kind of end on a high note. Movie episode is coming soon. Most underrated groups is coming soon. Chris Hogan, final thoughts, brother.
Man, I just want to shout y'all out, man. Shout out Ron, shout out Leroy, Max, man. Y'all hold it down, man. I appreciate y'all, man. A2HH, man. I'm out.
Hey, man, we're gonna come to New Orleans for the Super Bowl, man. You still there?
Oh, nah, I'm in Florida now, but you know, I'm gonna be down there. You know what I'm saying? I got family, that's I can touch down with when I get down there. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all come down,
we're gonna check in with you, man. Since you got family down there, we gonna make sure we good when we go down there. We're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No doubt, brother. We appreciate you, man. Tap in with us tomorrow, brother.
All right, salute, man.
No doubt, Mad Max, man. Final thoughts, man. What's on your mind? And no Kanye slander, okay? I'll mute your mic. And
lucky for you, Ron. Since the Tiny Desk performance happened, my hood is finally getting some shine. 914. I'm gonna be like a legendary Jada cut off a Locks album. I do this all for the love. I won't slander Ye. Final thoughts is respect the Locks. D Block. Act like you know. Peace.
Hey, one more thing before you go, Mad Max. And I ain't heard from my man and John Nori in a minute. But I'm asking myself, I'm looking at the calendar. It is August 4th. We still ain't got no Kendrick album, man. What's going on?
Kendrick's not gonna drop an album till next year, bro.
Man,
he's not, but he's not gonna drop an album till next year because one, Drake and Cole they basically called him out for using that diss that to roll out an album. So if he does put out an album, it looks like they're right. So he's not gonna do that for that. And two, he had his little moment. You know, he wants to ride the moment out, pause. And then he'll come probably back. I mean, he didn't preview a song in the video not to have music on the way. So I mean, the year's almost over. It's August, you know.
You know what? John Nori just popped up and said drop the link. So before we go, I'm gonna give John an opportunity to explain. You know, he's been doing victory laps and celebrate, this Kendrick run, but we ain't got no album. So what was it all about?
Well, it was about the battle with Drake. That's mostly what it was about. It was about battling, getting his little one-off with Drake. I think, he's gonna drop it next year because Kendrick doesn't drop albums to my recollection during fall or winter, at least anymore. When's the last time he did that? It probably had to be like Good Kid, Mad City. So he's only gonna do it in spring and summer.
John Nori, what's up, brother? Long time no talk.
What's up, bro?
What's good? Yeah, it's been a minute. I've been in the lab. But what we talking? You talking about this Kendrick album?
Yeah, where's it at, bro? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, man, you got the video, Not Like Us came out, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I ain't really been hearing it when I've been, maybe I'm too old and I'm not in the right clubs, but I really don't be hearing it when I'll be walking around, walking the dog. I don't hear it coming out of people's cars. That's just me. Maybe I'm in the wrong neighborhood. I'll be at the barbershop. I don't hear it. I went to a couple 4th of July holiday, some barbecues. I didn't hear it there. They asked the Olympic team what songs they listening to warm up. None of the Olympic players said they listened to it. So I'm just wondering, where's the new Kendrick album? And are you disappointed John, I know you work on your own music, but you know, as an admirer of K Dot and someone who appreciates their work as an artist, are you still surprised that there's no album? Or are you disappointed? What is it, man?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, if you can read, if you can read the room, I mean, everybody's kind of all the big boys is gearing up for the end of the year. That fourth quarter is gonna looks like it's gonna be a big one. So that's what it seems like to me. It seems like that everyone's gearing up. Drake is pushing his back. I'm not sure if Cole's gonna put anything out, but it looks like there's definitely gonna be a head-to-head Drake and Kendrick. That looks like that's gonna be a thing. So that's what it looks like to me. As far as mine, I'm working on my shit. My shit gonna be out a little at sometime maybe like middle of this month. So I've been kind of absorbed with my own creative push. But as far as Kendrick, yeah, it seems like he's trying to. If anything, he has it done, and he's waiting to see if Drake, if he drops anything, if it feels like he's about to, because he really wants to really settle it and be like, no, I'm number one creatively and financially. It seems like he really wants to put a chokehold on him and push him out of the game, especially the hip hop game, and push him back into the pop lane where he feels like that's where he belongs. And so far, I haven't been hearing no rapping from the Drake team. Been a lot of melodies, none of that talking tough. So, and it seems to be working on my end. I mean,
sometimes you got to go back with what you do. Sometimes, like I think that would have worked in Ja Rule's case against 50. I think instead of engaging with 50. I think if you had just stayed on your singing music, your pop music, Ja, I don't know if 50 would have been able to get rid of you like that. But, that was the feds was involved too. But maybe Drake got to go back to what he does best, right? Because if you're telling me I lost to Kendrick, what good is it to keep fighting the battle? You told me I lost, right?
Well, okay. Drake has an ego, so he's not going to do that. So,
hey, sometimes winning will do wonders for your ego too.
I think what Drake really is doing is he's putting all these melodies out,
Yeah.
He's putting all these melodies out like a Trojan horse, and then when he comes out for his album,
okay,
he'll still have his little melodies on it, but he's gonna talk greasy.
Gotcha.
I don't think Drake's not gonna talk greasy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
he's gonna talk greasy again.
I don't know.
We're talking about a man here. We're talking about a man here that he talked greasy after getting peed on. He talked greasy after Meek Mill. He talked greasy after Push. Like right. Drake, he's one of those people that he could just do whatever at any point. He's gonna talk greasy.
On the album though, he talked greasy about Pusha too, but it was tucked on the Scorpion album. You only heard it if you made it to the end of the Scorpion. But
that's what I was gonna say. Like he didn't talk greasy in them singles. No. Not to mention Rick Ross wrote one of them joints. That's somebody talk greasy about. So I mean, it looks like it's the powers is getting dismantled. He don't have the army like he had anymore.
John, let me ask you a question real quick, and I don't want to rehash this, but most diss records, right? Like let's just say the Takeover, right? You can repeat some of the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? Either Ether, right? Even Ether, it's cool. People recite the lyrics,
right?
But people on the block, Mad Max, I'm asking you, John Noah, I'm asking you, out in LA, do people out there reciting? You people walking around with their headphones, their AirPods on, like freak dope. What do you say? What do you say? What do you say? Well, he said, you're 69 God. Yeah, people on the train, on the bus, repeating that because that's when hip hop was always cool, and people always recited the lyrics. But people walking around like you are 69. I just don't hear it. Maybe I could be wrong. Maybe it's cool like that.
They are on the internet.
I'm still connected, and I'm in the New York streets. I'm a part of the nightlife. That's my job requirement. I'm outside, and from what I can see, 69 God that's transferred over to the culture. That's going to be forever. 69 God, that's not going nowhere. What is it? The braids, that's part of culture now. There's a couple lines he had, like OV holes, part of the culture now. I mean, there's a lot of quotables he put in as part of the culture. I mean, the only one you could possibly give Drake is the Mixed Queen line, but the Family Matters joint got smothered so much It really didn't get a chance to really circulate. So that's the problem that Drake's going up against. He don't have an angle. If he had an angle, he could talk greasy. He had an angle against Pusha T. I'm the bigger artist. Yeah. You fucked up my rollout. Whatever, nigga. I'm the bigger artist. He don't have that against Kendrick. He has no angle. He has nothing on him. He has no dirt. He has nothing to say back to him. So he has to go melodies.
Whoa.
He has to find one. If he don't find one, his ass is grass. I'm telling you that right now. The music is the only thing that's going to save Drake because he has no angle outside of the music. The music has to be great and it has to be pure. If he don't come with music, this shit's going to fall apart.
Wait a second. So Drake, well, first off, we gotta stop. We gotta stop lying now. Drake. Let's just be for real. If Drake was smart, he should have went in the whole Kendrick's been jealous of me his whole career bag. That's what he should have did. You've been I basically made a lane for you. There was no rapper putting out original music on a mixtape on the internet, basically as a demo before Drake did it. Kendrick's on camera saying Drake did that, and how he set everybody else up. If Drake really wanted to, he could really little boy him, like, you coming up with gossip because I'm your daddy and you really want to be me, but you have to play the conscious lane because I'm that nice. I dominate everything else.
He tried that.
You really wanted to. You talking about I'm not the culture. I made your whole career. There's a whole. We gotta be for real now. That whole class after that Drake came in with, Drake was the guy with like So Far Gone, them little whack ass mixtapes. What was that joint before So Far Gone? All them joints was whack.
Room for improvement.
It was their dumb backpacky garbage. That stuff. When he was making original music and he's calling it a mixtape,
right?
Then you see everybody else doing it. Like, we're not gonna act like Drake. If Drake really wanted to, all he has to do is go bring up what he brought to the game, bring up what Kendrick took from him, and put him back in his place. Like, you still my son. All he has to do is basically do what Nas did to Hov. You a fan of me. But Drake went the whole gossip route because Pusha T went the gossip route on him, so he thinks dirt is the angle. And if he wants to keep going there, he won't win that. He just need to go to you're my son. You've always been my son. You will always be my son.
But hold on, Mad Max. They make
that sounds easy to say, but you don't rap nowhere as good as him.
See, if Kendrick made music like Drake, well, then he'd be his son. But if Kendrick don't make music like Drake, it's not his son.
So this don't kill my vibe isn't something that.
No,
I mean, like, come on, man.
I see that.
It's a lot of those pop records too. Y'all do this too much.
I wish Drake would make something more soulful like that. I would appreciate it.
That's not even soulful. That's pop.
That's not pop. That is not pop.
That's not even a
That's not pop.
That's not pop.
That's not pop.
That is a pop song.
That's not pop.
If These Walls Can Talk, pop song.
That's not pop.
Pop song. These are all pop.
That's all soul music, nigga. What are you talking about? We play that shit in New York all the time. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey guys, we can be on this.
Oh, sorry about the language. My bad.
We can be on this all night. We can be on this all night. We might have a continuation of this show. John Nori, last words. We're gonna end this show up real quick and get to it tomorrow. What's your last words, brother?
Yeah, I never knew Mad Max was this big of a Drake fan. Like, this dude don't write his bars. No disrespect to Drake or anyone that's listening as part of his team. He don't. But I'm be honest, you don't write your bars. I mean, you have a good voice for the music, but when it comes to this artistry, you are not going to beat Kendrick Lamar when it comes to artistry. You need to make great music. Stop throwing the people that's working with you under the bridge. Stop doing that. Stop hiding behind shadows. Accept who you are. You're a curator at best. Make great music and stick to what got you here. That's it.
Just
stick to what got you here. That is all you need to do. As far as Kendrick, come with the album soon, brother. I mean, it feels like you're trying to go on an arms race with the boy. So, I mean, he's been doing great so far. So just keep doing what you're doing. I don't really have nothing to say for Kendrick. And y'all gonna be seeing me very soon.
Well, no doubt. When you drop your album, man, we want to do an interview with you, man. We'll put it out on all our platforms. We'll put it out to the 1.7 million on Facebook, to the 35,000 on Instagram, to about the 5,000-6,000 on X, and 19,000 we got on YouTube. We need to get that number to 100,000. We're gonna support your music, man, because you've been rocking with us for a long time. So we rocking with you, man. So Mad Max, what's your last word, brother?
The guy who got on the record, reincarnated. Come on, man. That's Nicki Minaj. That's pop stuff, bro. Oh God, looking for the broccoli. Like, come on, man. This guy's a pop artist too. Y'all, but my final thoughts is we gotta really understand what real hip hop is, real soul music is, and then understand that when people do rehashes, because Kendrick does a lot of rehashes too. You see with all the female rappers, they butcher an old sample, and then they go throw their little vagina songs on top of it, their little vagina raps on top of it, acting like they really doing something. You know, To Pimp a Butterfly, that was all rehashed old funkadelic stuff from the 70s that he made a little bit more poppy and threw some raps on it. Just because you're rapping on a song does not make it any less pop. You're gonna sit up here and tell me Humble is for the soul? Nobody plays Humble. Nobody plays Humble, bro. Nobody plays Humble. We don't play Humble. We don't play If These Walls Could Talk. Ron, do you know I was with a shorty and I played If These Walls Could Talk? She told me turn that bullshit off. She told me, why are you playing that?
I would say the same thing. Why is you playing that? Why are you playing rap, first of all? What the fuck is wrong with you?
If These Walls Could Talk, you can't play.
What kind of shit you get into when you want to
about Kendrick? We were talking about Kendrick. We was talking about Kendrick and how much I hate him. And I played If These Walls Could Talk. And she's like, nigga,
that's probably why he turned like, I don't want to argue about Kendrick. What the fuck is you doing?
Well, it was a conversation, bro. It was a conversation. We were talking about music. Talking about which rappers she like and which rappers she don't like. I was like, Kendrick is whack. And then, you know,
I mean, this whole thing, Kendrick lost me in this battle when he was like, you know, I like some of the records. I like 616 in LA. I like Euphoria was cool, but he said he don't like the women he messed with. I'm like, man, that's kind of strange, man. This whole lot of feminine energy with this beef, man. It was just weird. Like, why are you talking about the ladies?
Somebody up there's playing Kendrick Lamar. He ain't get to.
I'm saying the angle he don't like the females that my man is dealing with. That's kind of weird, man. Like,
I mean, I think that bar is just basically saying I don't like you so much, and I don't even like the women you deal with. Now,
I ain't never heard it. I've been a lot of places and a lot of cities around a lot of different individuals. You know, I ain't never heard nobody ever utter nothing like that. That's the strangest thing I ever heard. I never heard
bars. We're analyzing bars. The streets ain't analyzing no bars. They're going off the energy. And same thing I just talked about.
That energy is kind of
the energy.
The energy is something that I don't really resonate with because I never heard a man say
bars.
I don't hate this. I hate this dude, man. I hate this ninja, man. I don't even like the chicks he be with. I never heard it. So you know what I'm saying? I know, you know, I don't.
Ron.
I hear you, Ron. I feel like that line's for the ladies. You know, you got. I think Kendrick was trying to take the ladies away from Drake for the battle, but I hear you. I'm with you. I wouldn't say some shit like that either.
If Drake were to say that bar to Kendrick, everybody would have hated Drake for it. Kendrick gets away with a lot.
We don't have to compare bars. He done said some way cringier shit than that. Drake, like, come on now. It's not even comparable.
Cringier than that.
Somebody there is playing Kendrick.
Make so many splits, make your pants rip. That's cringy.
That's cringier than talking about where you care about man lay his piece. Come on.
That's cringier.
For me personally, there was a lot of bars. There was a lot of, pause. There was a lot of bars both ways that could be a little cringy, right? But as far as like the reason people look at Kendrick Lamar as culture, they look at Drake as vulture. When you have these two different sides, they don't care about bars. They don't care about they care about if I got to pick between culture or vulture, I'm going to pick culture. That's the way the streets see it.
Yo,
but who's really culture though, and who's really a vulture?
No, I'm not going to personally call Drake vulture because I understand what he's doing, right? Using regional sounds from other people's areas. Well, guess what happens when you go on a tour? You end up recording songs with all the artists in that area. So therefore, you are using their sound. So I understand the game, but in people's mind, they see Kendrick as Culture and Drake as Vulture. That's all they see.
People have short-term memory loss. Like I said, when Drake first came out, that whole everybody making a mixtape about original music, Ron, you can answer that yourself. Nobody was doing that really before Drake. Nobody was really doing that. Again,
okay, Mad Max. What's the Drake sound?
The Drake sound is that OVO sound. The whole
what
under
the
water
it?
ocean
40.
beat.
It's
with
40.
The 40 stuff. The under the water ocean beat with the
You mean 808s and Heartbreak?
Western Road Flows is Drake's sound. That, that.
You mean 808s and Heartbreak? That's Drake's sound.
He means 40. You know what 40 sound is.
I said Western Road Flows, and we talking about 808s and Heartbreak.
That's the sound.
Hey guys,
Western Road Flows sounds like 808s and Heartbreak.
That's the sound.
We're gonna have to continue this conversation on another day because we got to get. It's a school night in the Ron household, man. I gotta get my boys to school, man. I gotta be in a car ride line at about 7:00, and I gotta eat some dinner, and I gotta watch a movie. And I'm gonna shout out to Diego. He emailed me a YouTube video about what's going on. I'm gonna check that out, and then we're gonna get ready for tomorrow's show. And I got some interviews I got to schedule, and I gotta shout out to my haters. You know what I'm saying? He's still here. So Leroy, what's your final thoughts, man?
Excited for dope music. There's some dope things coming out in the near future. Big Sean is gonna release an album. Logic is gonna release an album. Nobody likes Logic in this space, but I like Logic. I'm gonna rock with the album. There's Kaz coming out with an album. I don't know if y'all know who that is. Super lyricist, like crazy lyricist. So this weekend, some dope music's gonna be coming out. I'm gonna check it out, man.
I'm gonna check out Kaz. That's from the he family for sure.
No doubt. No, John Nori gonna come out with an album. We're gonna plug that when it comes out. And yeah, man, keep watching the Olympics, man. I think the breakdancing competition starts soon. We're gonna check that out. Hopefully they'll have us as a judge in 2028 in LA. We be on the panel. We got Crazy Legs, and we have Mike D or somebody on the panel. You know what I'm saying? To really judge it properly.
Right.
But,
did I hear that right? There's a breakdancing competition in the Olympics.
It's breakdance. Yep. They categorize it as a sport, man. Let me pull up. Let me show you.
What?
That's
I just watched the qualifiers that they did last month. That shit was fire.
That's fire, bro.
Yeah, it says they're gonna have a judge. They're gonna have the whole nine. You know what I'm saying?
Who the hell? Who's gonna? So
that dude right here. This dude's name is Lee. He's fire. I just watched that.
I hope he's American.
Fire.
Now, unfortunately, he's not. B-boying has been global for a minute now.
From South America, so they're gonna be in it heavy, man. Snoop is still, out there. I've heard some things about Snoop. We said some positive things about him on the show, but he might. I don't know, man. It might be some underlying things going on with the OG. He came to his defense. He got on IG and said that was false. People are just disparaging his name. He's out there.
What they say?
They say he was wearing some type of chain that was emblematic of some satanic type of things, and he was like, "Nah, that's not what it was."
And Snoop's the OG. I'm from California. I'm not.
He was wearing a goat chain. He said he was wearing a goat chain, and that was misinterpreted. And he's out there, being positive and representing the country.
A goat is an animal. Symbols mean stuff, but it means what you say it means. So you're the one that gives it power. To me, a goat is an animal. It's just a goat.
Well, they said it was a Baphomet.
That's another episode for another day, Ron.
But
part of the industry. So
it's another episode for another day.
We say goat in hip hop. We say someone is the GOAT and we exalt them as the GOAT.
They saying it was the Baphomet. It was saying it was something else.
We only say GOAT in hip hop because LL Cool J coined the term. Now, where LL Cool J could have got the idea to coin the term could be esoteric. So I mean, GOAT is the
animal. This
is a rabbit hole that goes centuries upon centuries upon centuries.
We might have to start another YouTube channel called according to hip hop conspiracies or something. But anyway,
you put what you want to put on symbols. The symbol doesn't put on you. You put on the symbol. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, yeah, we might have to dig deep in that on another show. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share this with a friend. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're a long way away. We'll be on tomorrow. We're going to be on Rumble for a minute tomorrow to play some music, kind of break it up a little bit. We'll send the Rumble information to you guys in a bit. Make sure you go to X. Make sure you follow us on X. We're kind of light on there. We only got like 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers on there. Go to IG. Like us there. Follow us on IG. We're about 35,000 subscribers. And join us on Facebook. We got 1.7 million followers on Facebook. 1.7 million. That's a pretty big number. But anyway, shout out to everybody in the chat. We appreciate you guys rocking with us always. My name is Ron. That's Leroy Green. That's John Norris. Mad Max. Mike D will be on tomorrow. Peace.
Deuce.
Hip hop. Breakdancing at the Olympics. Fire.